everybody? What is going on? It is our Saturday live stream where we interview various people in the crypto space. I'm really excited for this one. We got Pierre with us today, but you guys know we got to get our introduction done, and then we're going to jump right into it. So, for those who don't know, what is THORChain? THORChain is the world's leading Bitcoin DEX. You can swap Bitcoin with 10 different blockchains across 40 different pools without using bridges or wrap tokens. Check it out at swap.thorchain.org, swap.thorchain.org. Anyone in the world can use THORChain. There is no account to open, no KYC required, and privacy is a human right. Anyone in the world can use THORChain. Very important to remember. And THORChain has two tokens, Rune and TCY. The fees for swapping on THORChain are paid in Rune, and that's where the yield comes from. The fees are deducted from the swap, so you don't need to own Rune to trade on THORChain. And 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to TCY token holders. Remember to stake your TCY tokens in order to collect this yield. There are no inflationary block rewards on THORChain, therefore the yield is real money paid by real users. Rune is also deflationary as 5% of the revenue is burned. THORChain is a full layer 1 with the ability to create smart contracts on it similar to Ethereum. This app layer is being developed by Regira. If you need help with THORChain in general, join the THORChain community Discord and Telegram group. Links for those are at thorchain.org. And guys, please follow THORChain on Facebook and Instagram and THORChain Contact on TikTok. We need 1,000 followers to live stream on those platforms. And always remember, guys, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. And with that out of the way, you guys, my name is Denny. I go by Patriot Sounds. I also help manage the Rune Bond account. Really excited to have everyone here today. I'm going to kick it to my main man, Kenton, in case he's got an update for us. How you doing, Kenton?
Good, thanks. Apologize everyone for us being a few minutes late. We had some. I was just going to say we had X wasn't connected when I joined the space. It disconnected, so I had to fix it. We got it fixed, and now I'm hearing it's not working now. So
we'll carry on.
We're not live streaming on X. Well, this happened to us on Thursday as well. I'll have to try and figure out what's going on. So yeah, apologies for our tardiness. And as far as like marketing and whatnot, I don't got anything to update. So just trying to get things finished on Masari, get all our metrics looking good in there, and then the website done. And that actually I'm going to spend better part of this weekend just like trying to finish everything on the site so that all that's left is just like design, like the actual implementation. So working on that. Need to get those things off my plate before I really kind of focus on anything else. And with that, I'll hand it over to Ben. Maybe you can do a little quick introduction of yourself and Pierre.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Ben, the head of marketing and growth at Peer. We're a non-custodial, permissionless, peer-to-peer on and off ramp. Currently based on Base, but one of the big things that we go for is a sex-like experience on chain. So the idea is you never see the chain, you never see kind of anything else. You don't need to pay fees. We use Privy. It's a really nice experience, especially for people who have previously used local Bitcoins, local Ethereum, local cryptos, those sort of old school places. Or if anyone remembers meeting people in a car park and trading cash for Bitcoin as well. It brings back those fantastic memories, I would say. We just recently rebranded in February, like almost a month ago now, from ZK P2P. We don't have any additional verification, so no KYC. And you can go from fiat, so Venmo, Cash App, Revolut Wise, Monzo, Mercado Pago in Argentina, if you're interested, PayPal, and some others direct from fiat to crypto with no additional verification. Or as some people say, no KYC. Yeah, that's kind of the long story short of us. Yeah.
Well, should we jump right into it, Denny?
Let's go.
How is that possible? How can you have no KYC fiat on and off ramp?
How you doing that?
How do you do that? It's zero knowledge proofs, I guess, is like the big thing. So we're a small team. We're about to become a team of 7. So nice. We don't have any compliance people. I don't want to be another compliance officer. What we say is, hey, like you're good enough for Revolut, you're good enough for Venmo, you're good enough for Cash App. You've passed their KYC, you've passed their AML, you've given them all your information. We don't want to store your information. We don't want I don't want to know who you are. Like, I don't want to know that. We just want to help you get from fiat to crypto. And with zero knowledge proofs, essentially what happens is when I pay Kenton via Venmo, I log into my Venmo account. We intercept one of the APIs on Venmo in a permissionless manner. We blind all of your information. So your name, your address, like all of this stuff is just blinded out. I don't care about it. We don't want to see it. We just take the information that's necessary to prove a transaction. So the date and time, the amount, the person you're sending it to in a hashed manner, which will match the on-chain hash, and some other kind of payment identifiers. And once you do that, you match the order on chain, and it unlocks the funds from the escrow. And then from there, you can do whatever you like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with zero knowledge proofs or not. I can discuss them.
I mean, I'm not a developer, but I mean, I'm a crypto pleb. I'm on Twitter. I've heard of ZK proofs, but do you want to explain them? Maybe
I guess the easiest way to explain them is that it's taking something like in a really like stupid proof manner. No offense to your audience or the two of you. It's a really easy way to prove something that occurs off chain, on chain, essentially. So like if you think about a payment you make in Venmo, if you want to prove it's made in Venmo without showing anyone your information or sharing like your PII information, so your name, address, passport number, social security number, things like this, you can do that in a zero knowledge fashion. And if you think about it from like there's also a project called ZK Email, and that's also a similar idea. So if you imagine you have an email from Chase Bank, for example, it has all of your information in. You can prove that is a real email from Chase without showing anyone, your name, your address, and things like this as well. So it's just a way of proving information. Well, zero knowledge, right? So it's without giving away all of your information, and that's what makes us a privacy preserving protocol. I think that the most important part of that is we're not anonymous. So obviously, like normal P2P, your counterparty on your counterparty knows you. That's how P2P works. But it is privacy preserving. So obviously, like if I'm off ramping to my bank, which is the other side of the trade, maybe I don't want people to know I'm off ramping money into my bank, or the tax authorities to know, or et cetera, et cetera. So they're both sides of the trade are incentivized to kind of keep the information private, if that makes sense to you guys.
So like I've been hearing people talk about ZK proofs for a long time now. Like this has been on the board for years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everyone says, "Oh, this is the future. It's going to happen." Blah blah blah. Is the technology? Is it exist? It's solved now. They figured it out, and it's just a matter of time for people to start using it, or is it still? Are the kinks still being ironed out, or is it all done? It's ready to go, but it's just no one's using it yet. And
I would say, like from a consumer product perspective, we're probably one of the. I don't want to brag too much, but we're probably one of the.
Come on, this is your time,
This is your
man.
brag live stream.
We're
Brag,
probably
please.
one of the only successful consumer apps to implement ZK proofs. We have a mobile app that's coming out soon. It's in private beta right now. The web already works. It's been working for technically over 2 years. We've done $30 million of volume. We're doing over $1 million of volume, P2P volume per month. And it's really people on and off ramping, going direct through Zelle to Venmo, things like this without any KYC, things like this. So the technology is there. The technology is good. It's just very difficult in a couple of ways. You do have to download an extension to generate the proof, and that can be quite difficult in kind of the UX and the onboarding. So something we've done with our extension was it was firstly just to prove. So it would just generate a proof locally on your device to say, hey, Kenton made a payment. And now what we've done is actually put the on-ramp inside the extension. So we've coined it a funding wallet, if that makes sense. And in terms of this, you can go to any website you like. You can open your side panel, similar to MetaMask, Rabbi, all other wallets, and go direct from fiat to crypto on any website, anywhere. Yeah. So that's the new kind of UX we're going for, is that, hey, instead of having to go to peer to XYZ, you can fund an address on the side panel with the extension on Google Chrome or Brave. And then you don't have to worry about us anymore. You don't need to use us anymore. You can go to anywhere you like. You want to trade on Hyperliquid. You want to trade on THORChain. You want to deposit into privacy pools. You want to do all these different things. Like, you can do it from that website, from your Revolut account, from your Venmo account, if you've just been paid there. You can get on chain really quickly. I guess the average time it takes for our users to get on chain is like 2 minutes. It's really quick and easy to do, and something that I'm very passionate about. We're very passionate about making sure people can get on and off chain in a privacy preserving, permissionless manner. I think that's most important for us.
So when you say like privacy preserving, you don't want to know. I appreciate, Ben, the individual doesn't want to know, but Peer, the entity who has Big Brother breathing down his neck, do they is there any expectations from like a compliance and legal point of view that, are you skirting the regulations? Like, we don't want to do this, we're cypherpunk, F the man, or like, are you actually legally compliant and you can like piggyback off Revolut's and Venmo's KYC, and you're actually, you're doing everything above board, everything's good. Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah. So actually it's a really nice way. So I guess like we are still mildly cypherpunk, I would say. Like, it's still a cypherpunk kind of idea. We do everything in a permissionless way. So we don't work with Revolut, Venmo, Cash App. We just take the information when you log in because we can. And we say, hey, we're leveraging regulated rails, right? So it's all above board. It's all like compliant in a way that says, hey, if you're good enough for multi-billion-dollar companies, you're good enough to use our platform, right? I can't imagine. I mean, I guess there are lots of people who get fined, lots of banks who get fined for these sorts of things. But we say, hey, if you're good enough for these companies, you're more than good enough for us to use it. Yeah. So we just say we're leveraging the regulated rails, and then from a compliance perspective, it's good enough.
Perfect.
So you created like an aggregator for these payment apps, put ZK proofs on top of it to go connect to other people.
It's a little like if I explain the flow to you, I see we have a question in the chat which I can answer later. If we talk about the flow of it from an off-ramping perspective, I deposit USDC on peer to XYZ. I type in my Venmo username, for example. I type in my rate I want to sell USDC at, and on our website you can off-ramp and make yield at the same time. So for example, on Venmo, you can sell 1 USDC for $1.102 US, because people pay a premium to be able to get on chain in a privacy preserving way, which means you can sell your USDC at a higher rate. And then you wait, right? You wait for someone with a coincidence of wants to come and take the deposit. And from an on-ramp perspective, you come to our website and you say, hey, I have $100 in Venmo. I want to go to native Bitcoin. You type in $100, you choose Venmo in the dropdown, you choose Bitcoin in the dropdown. It comes with the rate. You copy and paste your Bitcoin address and you click start order. Once the order's started, you get the name that you need to pay in Venmo. You open Venmo on your phone. You pay $100 in Venmo. The next step will say, hey, log in with Venmo and make sure you have our extension. You log in, we generate the proof. The proof is submitted on chain, and after that, it's the funds are unlocked from the escrow, and you receive your Bitcoin. It's bridged, but you receive your Bitcoin within 10 minutes, depending on how fast the chain decides to confirm the transaction. And it sounds really simple, but what I say to people is like, go and try it, and you'll understand sort of the magic. Essentially, it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that. Before I started working, I was a very big user of previously ZK P2P, now Peer. And I said, hey guys, like the product is amazing. Your marketing sucks. Let me do it. And thankfully,
We could
Richard
talk
and,
about marketing, Ben. Yeah.
thankfully, Richard and Sachin liked my pitch, liked my deck I made them. And here I am a year or so later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so, okay, that $100 in Bitcoin, who is selling it? Where is that $100
So
Bitcoin
in the
coming from?
case, no one is selling that Bitcoin. It's all denominated in USDC. So someone comes to our website and deposits USDC. There's two sides of the trade. I'm going to use you, Kenton, and you, Denny, as the two people. Kenton, you want money in your Venmo. Okay. So you come to our website, you deposit $1,000. And for the sake of ease, you say, I just want $1,000 in Venmo. So I'm going to do a 1-to-1 exchange rate. Right. And then Denny comes along and goes, hey, I've got $1,000 in Venmo and I want, in this case, let's just say USDC to make it easier. You come to the website, you type in $1,000, you choose Venmo in the drop down, and your quote will come up, Kenton. And then Denny will pay you Venmo first. And then once he's paid you, Kenton, you don't have to do anything. You've got your fiat, everything's fantastic. You're happy bunnied. Denny then has to prove that he made the payment to you. And once he's done that, the funds are unlocked on chain and he receives his USDC. And in the Bitcoin example, it would just be a swap from USDC to Bitcoin, if that makes sense. So
It doesn't make sense. So who is the swap provider?
in this case, we use relay.link.
Whoa, who's that? What about THORChain? What's
But let me just take a sip. I think
So
one of the
using
go on.
Relay? Relay.inc?
Relay.link. Yes. They're in this case, they're the lowest fees and they have the most coverage on EVM and non-EVM chains. We are open to other cryptos, obviously. We do have native Bitcoin support through Relay. We are hopefully, I'm pushing very much for near intents as well. And there are other things we can do as well to get more coverage on chain, because obviously we have not just, Bitcoin or THORChain or these kind of tokens, but we also have a want for Monero and Zcash as well. So this is something we're also working on to kind of expand the amount of tokens we have, I guess.
Can THORChain make a pitch to you guys? Can we throw our hat in the ring about being a swap provider?
In terms of being a swap provider, oh my God. We wouldn't move away from Relay, but we are in a modular way. We can add bridges in a modular way to support other chains, similar to near intent as well. That's something that is possible and something we can discuss for sure. Kenton.
All right, great. Denny, did you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, so everyone wants to know, right? Like, what is the limits? We did have someone ask a question in there. It's like,
I saw, yeah.
So let's do the specific question here. I'm like, man, you guys been chatty today. What would be the limits of the funds? Can I on and off ramp 50,000? I would just say that's USDC.
Wow. And it comes up in on screen as well. Yeah. So actually, that from an off-ramp perspective, there are no limits. You can deposit as much USDC as you like. The thing that I would say is you have to wait, right? So you can set your limits to be, hey, I only want to receive $5 orders for my 50K, or I want to receive between 5 and 50K. It depends. And if you have a large amounts of money for 50K for off-ramping, you're welcome to reach out to the team, and we never match. That's just important to say from a legal perspective, we never match users together, but we can look for users with coincidence of wants who could take the other side of that trade, and you use the peer platform in kind of like an OTC way. So it's a safe way to trade from fiat to crypto on large amounts as well. And that's something we can help you with. And from an on-ramp perspective, again, there's no limits. There are some limits to protect liquidity providers to start with. We have a reputation system. but there are no limits to how much you can on ramp in a sense of, hey, if I have a good reputation, I can do 25K at a time, but you do need someone on the other side of that trade, right? So you need someone who's provided $25,000 of USDC liquidity for you to be able to on ramp $25,000 in that way. So there are the limits are how much liquidity there is, and the size of those depositors.
So, okay. Well, okay. So let me just ask this because people want to know what. Okay, how do you make your slice of bread? What fee do you charge for this service? I think.
Right now we're, I would say, pre-revenue, which means we don't charge any on and off ramp, any on ramp fees or off ramp fees. There is a 0.5% swap on spread on bridges. Sorry, so 0.5% fee on bridging. So when you go from, I know, fiat to mainnet Ethereum, fiat to Bitcoin, fiat to Sol, there would be a 0.5% fee. And something we're looking at doing in the future, kind of from a revenue perspective and a sustainability perspective, so I can keep my job, is to charge a fee across kind of all platforms on ramp. TBD on that one. For now, the only fee is on the swap. And obviously there's a spread, right? So if I'm selling my USDC at 1.02, the on-ramper's fee is that spread, right? So we never take money from our liquidity providers, but the liquidity providers will earn kind of like that 2% spread themselves. So that's something to note as well.
And so my question, and I broke up a little bit. I think it was internet on my side, so I do apologize if you did answer this. But
Sure.
to facilitate really big fiat on and off ramp amounts, right? You need to have that counterparty. You need someone to match with. And this is where
Never
it broke up for
matching.
my.
You never
Not
match
matching.
users. No, because that's what MSBs do and things like this. People with licenses,
okay. Yeah.
people with licenses match. We're all about users with coincidence of wants, Denny.
Right. So if you're going fiat to crypto, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how Relay works or anything like that. But with THORChain, we have automated market maker, right? So you can just I don't know. Can you not be the intermediary counterparty? Like if you
As a business, no. So
okay.
Peer is a software company, and Peer.xyz from a legal and regulatory perspective is a bulletin board for users with coincidence of wants, right? So we're just facilitating Kenton and Denny coming together, and one saying, hey, I have crypto, I want fiat, and the other saying, hey, I have fiat and I want crypto. From an automated market maker perspective, like I maybe you missed it, Denny, but we can help find people with a coincidence of want. So if you have large amounts of money, you're welcome to reach out to the team, and we can help find counterparties and see if there's anyone with a coincidence of want. In sort of a white glove service for larger sizing. Yeah, it's more OTC, like a safe OTC is what we would describe it, or ZK OTC if we look for some fancy wording.
I got you. Okay, yeah, because so you just have to have this hands-off perspective in this regulatory environment, and I understand. Okay, Kenton, I'll kick it back to you if you wanted to add something to that.
No, I was going to ask you about the MSB thing. So that's, because you don't take custody of the fiat, you're not matching people.
We don't take custody at all. So like the escrow, unlike a traditional escrow service, if you think of Binance P2P, they take the money, they hold it, and then you have to prove, like you send a bank statement or you type on a chat, like someone's always holding custody of those funds. Our escrow has two directions, right? So when I create an order, I lock some funds in the contract, in the smart contract, and it can only go one or two ways. If the order is cancelled, then it goes back to the sellers. And if the order is confirmed and the money is proved to have been sent, it goes to the buyer. We never have custody of those funds. And a seller, someone who's off-ramping their USDC can always access their funds. And that's something that's very important for us to be clear on. We never hold users' funds, fully non-custodial. Yeah.
So people are talking about limits on the dollar amounts. Is then you're susceptible to limits on Venmo and Revolut and whatever app you're using, right?
Correct. So I believe like there's a soft limit for Venmo of like 20K per week. This is kind of the testing limits we found using these platforms. Revolut is much friendlier. Just from a banking perspective, I know it's not super popular in America right now, but it's very popular on Peer XYZ. So I would recommend Americans to open an account on Revolut. Yeah,
So
especially if you're doing your funds.
what about Wise?
Wise is horrible, actually. So in Wise's terms and conditions or user agreements, they specifically mention that they don't support any crypto kind of I can't think of the word I'm using. They don't support the use of crypto on their platform.
You
We
can't.
do support Wise on our platform, and from a technical perspective, you are sending, like, it's peer to peer, right? You are just sending $100 to Kenton or €100 to Denny. What you do after that does, I guess, concern crypto, but it's not specifically like sending money to Binance or Coinbase or things like that. Yeah,
Like I know Wise will close your account if you're going back and
correct.
forth from the crypto exchange. But that's what I was
Yes.
wondering if it's connected from your point of view, from Pierre's point of view. You can have Wise. You guys don't care, right? But that's what I was wondering. What would Wise see on their end if you have them connected with Pierre? Will they see it going through Pierre? And then they can say, "What is Pierre?" And they go look it up. Oh, you're crypto. Oh, we're gonna stop this. Or would Wise just see, oh, this is just a payment to another individual?
Correct. So all the platforms, like, again, like no one's ever sending money to peer. It's always sending money to a peer in this case. Sorry for the stupid part. It's sending money to a person. So it's always sending money to Ben or to Kenton or to Denny. It's never sending money to a centralized a place. It's real peer to peer.
So then, in that sense, then Wise should work.
And Wise does. I can assure you, Wise does work. We use it. I can also tell you that I have lost my Wise account. Also because of the volume I was processing through it is maybe was maybe too much. But yes, you can use Wise, but I would definitely say that Wise are one of the most unfriendly payment providers that we support on the platform. I know they're becoming more friendlier. They were hiring some stablecoin people, some digital asset people. So maybe they will change in the future. But yeah, from a perspective of what we have, Wise are the most horrible, I guess.
But and this is, I like to think, well, and I guess maybe there's people new to crypto on this, but guys, this obviously isn't advice, right? Some of these, we just don't know how these banks or whatever are going to react, if they're going to close your account. It's still, the environment is definitely better today than it was a few years ago.
Yes.
But yeah, like what I have a Wise. I couldn't get a Revolut account. I think it had what's the problem? Because I'm in Cayman, and then it forces me to have like a British passport or residence or something like that. But I could get Wise, but now I can't have Wise touch anything crypto related. And so I'm thinking about Cayman. So in Cayman Islands, actually, guys, banking here is a nightmare. None of the banks here will let you send or receive money from crypto exchanges. So on and off ramping in Cayman is actually extremely difficult, especially for like the average person, like smaller dollar amounts. And I go to a Bitcoin meetup and we talk about how do we we're trying to create a circular economy on island. We're like you said, meet in a car park, a few $100, buy some Bitcoin. Like we're trying to do that.
Not to get kneecapped or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you'd think, you guys, everyone thinks Cayman Islands is it is a financial mecca. It's after the United States, there's more money in Cayman entities than anywhere else. But when it comes to crypto, like it's just it's so backwards. It's like 15 years ago. So anyway, where I'm going with all this is I'm gonna start telling people about Peer, and maybe this could be the solution that we've all been looking for. And I know a lot of people here have Revolut, and I know people here have Wise as well. and but people here are pretty adventurous, so I'm sure they'll try whatever payment thing you've got. Um, um, so it's cool because if we can do it, then Africa can do it. South America, right? Like all these other places with all these other
Yeah.
neobank accounts should be able to do it, right?
So this is the question in terms of is so what are the where can we do this at? Like, is this
Yeah. So it
geolocked or
no,
yeah?
I guess one of the things with zero knowledge proofs is you need like a what we would call a provider template, which is basically what it's let's take Revolut because it has like a nice API. Revolut's API, and it's basically what the fields are from the API it needs to have, and some other information on what to blind out and things like this. So if you want to add a provider, like a bank, say we have a lot of people ask about Nigeria. You mentioned Africa, Kenton. If you wanted to add a bank in Nigeria, you would need to create a provider template, open a pull request on GitHub, and we'd probably get around to adding it sometime in the late future when we have time. We have all of that information in our docs on how to create a provider template. And from a perspective of, I would say, running your own one, you could use our extension and an attestation server and actually have your own kind of providers. It's possible to do yourselves. And to answer the question, finally, USA, Europe, Argentina, because we were a payment provider at DevConnect, so we added Argentina, and I guess the UK specifically with Monzo as well. We have PayPal, and I guess PayPal also has other currencies, so Australia can use PayPal, Revolut, and Wise are basically all of those currencies that they support. We mainly support, so you have quite a broad range of currencies, just not specific banking providers. And I can tell you, Zelle is a good example. So Zelle, if people don't know, is what Americans use for sending money via email or telephone number. And it's very quick and easy, and all the banks use it. Also in South America, they use it. From an off-ramping perspective, so if I want to get fiat, if I have crypto and I get fiat, I can have any bank I like. But from an on-ramping perspective, we only support Citi, Chase, and Bank of America, unfortunately, because for every single bank, you need to have a specific template. And there are hundreds of thousands of banks on Zelle. So we obviously don't have hundreds of thousands of those bank accounts. So there are some limitations. But we tried to have the most coverage possible, and those three banks are the top three banks in America. I guess by like accounts or like volume, however it is. We are adding some new ones. So we had a community member do TD Bank, Wells Fargo as well, which will be added in the near future. So there are limitations, but it's kind of, we've gone for America, Europe, and then coming soon will be Asia with
Okay.
Alipay will be quite one of our next, I guess, payment providers.
If someone's in Africa and they have a Revolut account, they can use Pierce.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you're connecting these banks, like, are you connecting them to like do ACH or to be able to wire transfer? Like how?
No. Sorry, Kenton, please.
No, good.
I was going to say, like, it's not about connecting the banks. It's essentially just taking, when you log into your bank, you see on the screen a list of transactions, right? Everyone knows, or Venmo, you see a list of transactions. And it's essentially just taking the API that makes that list of transactions and then creating like a JSON template for it to then be able to read the information that's necessary to generate the proof and blind the information that's not necessary. And that's kind of the sticking point, I guess, from adding more payment providers, is it takes a lot of time because you're essentially reverse engineering the API for these banks to then be able to use it to prove a payment. That's the kind of cypherpunk permissionlessness of the platform, is that we're literally taking an API, reverse engineering it, so that then we can use it to prove a payment without having to talk to Venmo or Revolut or all these other people. And we've had some of them, like previously, these large companies like reached out to previously ZKB2P, now Peer, to ask like, what are you guys doing, kind of vibe. Like what the fuck is this, basically? So
Yeah.
they are like aware of what we're doing. And for now, touch wood, okay with it. Yeah.
But sorry, Ben, I'm still confused. Like, is someone making a payment? Say, let's just use Chase for an example. Like, the payment is coming from Chase, or the payment is going through Zelle.
So
And
like
through Zelle, you need to read Chase.
Yeah, it's just you need to have yeah, okay, I understand the question now. Yes. So the payment is using Zelle, but it needs to come you like when you prove the payment, you log in through Chase, Citi, or Bank of America in this case. The payment
Okay.
needs to come from that bank, but it uses Zelle, the technology, to be able to send to the email or the phone number.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm actually not familiar with Zelle. Have you heard of Plaid or Plaid?
Yes, correct.
PLAID.
Yes,
Is it
so
the same
our
thing?
dream is to have a community played or plaid of payment providers. That would be what we want. So that uses it's a very similar idea, but instead of again having to get licenses or work with a centralized party or things like this, it would be done in this permissionless kind of manner. And I guess Zelle, I don't know how to describe Zelle. Denny, I hope you've used Zelle in the past.
Yeah, I have it. It's
Okay.
just like any other app, like where you just
It's
send,
just like
the money and stuff. Yeah, so that's just the American one. I don't use it all. I'm like 100% almost crypto now. So, but
So someone's got to use like one of these like payment apps with you. Like, can you use like your debit card or like an actual
no. So
regular
like
credit card?
Apple Pay, credit cards not supported because you can't. It's very difficult to prove those payments. They're like very close source systems.
Got it.
That if you can prove a payment, you can do it. And if you can't prove the payment, you can't do it, essentially. I think one of the most exciting things we're working on in terms of this, specifically Kenton, and a nice segue you didn't even know you were doing, is seller side proof generation. So right now, if Denny sends you $1,000 on Venmo, Kenton, Denny would have to prove that he sent you $1,000 on Venmo. And that can be annoying for new users and buyers. They don't want to do it. The UX is difficult. You have to download the extension. But what we're working on is that, Kenton, you lock your Venmo username and credentials into a TEE, a trusted executional environment, which is basically a black box that keeps everything safe. And we wouldn't be seeing anything. No one will be seeing anything. The idea of a TEE is that it's a safe area that you can keep credentials in. And once Denny's paid you on Venmo, he would then ping, imagine the black box, and that black box would return and say, hey, Denny did indeed pay you $1,000, and the funds would be unlocked there. And that sell side generation where Kenton then locks his information, his credentials here, becomes a much smoother UX for people, because then he doesn't have to download anything. He just sends on Venmo. He clicks for a very high level. He clicks ping the black box, which has Kenton's information in. The black box logs into Venmo for you. It reads the transaction information. It says, yes, this did occur, sends the information back, and then he gets his crypto. And that's one of the most exciting things. It's still zero knowledge proof, so the technology is there, but instead of it being on the buyer to prove, it's all done very automatically, safely, in another privacy preserving manner, and something that's very exciting for integrations as well, because people want to go from fiat to crypto with no KYC. But when you say, hey, by the way, you have to download an extension, it makes my job a little more difficult, because they're like, I don't want to do that. So to kind of combat, hey, I don't want to download the extension, we made the funding wallet, which means you can do it from, the sidebar from any website. And then to make it even better, we try this sell side proof generation. which will be coming soon-ish, hopefully. Richard is the founder and also the big brain behind sell-side proof generation, and I think it will be very exciting once it comes out, because it's a real fantastic UX.
Cool. We do have a question here, and you know the annoying thing about Riverside is when I'm scrolling the comments, if someone makes a new comment, it takes me all the way down to the beginning, and it's like, why would I want that? Oh, and it just did it again. Thank you, Soda. But the question is here: when you say your protocol is permissionless, are the swap providers permissionless as well? Correct, please. Because if they're not permissionless, Ben, I'll call you Benjamin if you want. I know a protocol that is.
Only my mother calls me Benjamin, Denny. I think Relay are probably not permissionless, to be honest with you. And what I would say about that is we don't have to use Relay. So you can come to our website and you can always go from fiat to crypto on our website. Full stop, right? You don't have to use our website to swap. You can take it any way you like. It's not necessary to do. Like
you can just do stablecoin to fiat, do that,
correct,
and then take your stablecoin and go do your swap somewhere else.
And if you want to do your swap somewhere else, you're more than welcome to. We literally, like, from a user perspective, whatever you think of permissionless bridges or whatever you think of Relay or Bungee or these other ones, Relay has the lowest fees for our users. It has the highest coverage for our users who purchase mainly mainnet Ethereum, Solana, native Bitcoin, and they go to hyperliquid core, so they go to lose money on perps. Like, those four routes are our highest kind of volume routes where they go to. That's not, I mean, going to USDC is the first one, and then those 4 routes after, and they offer the lowest fees and the highest speed as well, which is something that we appreciate. But again, I guess someone just asked what the fees are. I can tell you. So I think it's like 3 basis points, and then to generate some revenue for peer, we do 50 basis points. Yes, which is still small, I would say, for the service we provide, and something that's I would say pretty low in terms of fees you see nowadays for going from fiat to crypto as well. And that, again, that only occurs on the swap as well. So you can always come to peer.xyz. Currently, it may change in the future, but currently there are no fees from fiat to crypto on the site, from fiat to USDC on the site.
I like it. I mean, just talking to you, man, it seems like you have our ethos pretty solidly, and you're doing what you can with what you got. You know, given the regulatory environment, given the time that we all live in, it seems like you're squeezing as much as you can out of that. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And just, I don't know how familiar you are with THORChain, but just so you're aware, you know, THORChain, it's not a bridge, right? This is a real layer one. Like bridge, it's a semantics game, right? Like bridge is like an intermediary application layer. You try to see consensus on 2 different layer ones. Like THORChain really is layer 1. And this is the thing we talk about, Ben, is THORChain has solved a lot of problems. Like we're going for that, you know, decentralized Binance or Coinbase, whatever you want to say. But there's that one hiccup, right? That one freaking hiccup we have to solve, and that's the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. Right, that has always been the hiccup, and how do you provide that service in a decentralized way? There's a lot of ideas, a lot of cool teams. I'm so glad that there's teams like you, Peer, out there who are working to help solve this problem, and basically to give people a way to get their money onto crypto safely. Because one thing we always say, Ben, is KYC. It means kill your customer, right? This is dangerous, right? We had someone on just a few days ago. They said, you know, my identity was leaked. It was leaked on Coinbase, and now I get all of these different, you know, phishing scams and stuff like that. Like, my information is now out there, and that's
one of our guys on the team also got leaked on Coinbase, and he also gets a lot of stuff. And actually, here in the Netherlands, Odido is like a mobile. It's like T-Mobile, or they were T-Mobile here. They just leaked like millions of customers' data. Like names, addresses, bank details, IBANs, notes about your health that they overheard on like telephone calls and things like this. It's it's insane. And I'm for like a personal perspective, I'm a big proponent of privacy. Obviously, I work in the space and making sure that even my wife, who was a previous Odido customer, we changed all of our passwords. We made sure all of these things were done. And my sister-in-law got the email saying, "Hey, like your information was leaked." So I had to help her also make sure two-factor authentication was on. Things like this. It's really
It's so stupid.
From our perspective, we say we don't need like your KYC in so many places. Like we really don't need to do it because it just adds another layer of surveillance.
Yeah.
You
Well,
guys.
on Thor's Day, we have a special, we do a THORChain primary, what do we got here? Yeah. Exactly. Yes. It's like what Kenton put it well. We're at the stage where we have to prove our own innocence, right? It's completely
Yeah.
ass backwards, right? Like the presumption of
Exactly.
innocence it should always be the thing, but now we are assumed to be criminals, right? And the information that we surrender then can be used against us. I mean, there's innumerable stories out there. And one of my favorites, New York, the NYPD, New York Police Department, right? Two detectives, law enforcement officers, figured out someone who had crypto, figured them out via KYC, and they tortured him for his seed phrase. This is not a joke. And so this is why I'm really excited to talk to you, Ben, because I think there's a really good synergy here, because this is the problem that THORChain by ourselves cannot solve. Like we go to solve all the problems we possibly can, but fiat off-ramp and on-ramp, it's one of the last hiccups. It's one of the last friction points before we had this seamless process between the TradFi to the DeFi world or the crypto world, however you want to say it. And so you guys are doing a very important service. I'm really glad we're talking to you today.
Yeah, we see a lot of people, like there's loads of what we call like the middle section of crypto. There's private, so you have like Aztec, you have privacy pools, Tornado Cash. Like you have all these places where you can be private, and then the last step, which is going back from crypto to fiat. Well, then I go through Coinbase, then I go through Binance, then I have to, I don't know, use MoonPay maybe. And that's, I would never use MoonPay to offer up, but it's fine.
I've tried, I can't even use them. I've tried to use MoonPay just to test it out, and I can't even like get through the KYC. And
I
it's like,
wouldn't, I wouldn't use, but the idea is like, yeah, these people have solved so much stuff, right? They've solved so much in terms of doing things privately on chain, but then it's just ruined by telling Coinbase like, hey, this is my information. You know what I mean? Like this is it. And that's something we want to solve, this first and last mile of crypto. Yeah, which I think we're doing quite like a good job of, I would say.
So Denny's got looks like he's got your website up. So I'm curious if a website, an front end wanted to integrate peer, let's say we've got swap.thorchain.org, and we want to provide our users with an on and off ramp service. How do we do this with peer? Like, would we just have a link and it just goes to your website and they go do everything there? Or is it like a widget we could have on our site that people interact? Yeah.
So there's a couple of ways of I guess doing that from a like an off ramp perspective. We have an SDK. Actually, we have an SDK in general, but from an off ramp perspective, it's much easier for you guys to integrate, like to get people to go from crypto to fiat. That's really easy to integrate. From an on ramping perspective, we would say like use the funding extension, which is not very like handy at the minute. Like the funding wallet works, but the UX is okay. I would give it a go and see like how it works. From a like a specific integration perspective on the website, we are coming with a pay feature. So it's like a Stripe checkout feature, which will have a widget that you can implement. And that's also a really nice flow, which could also be nice on a swap page, like your swap page, for example. It's a kind of a pay widget. I don't know how to describe it. It's not yet out. It should be launching soon if all goes well. And then you could implement something like that too. Yeah. There's lots of different ways. Go ahead, Kent. I'm sorry.
If we wanted, our interface or any other interface for that matter, if they wanted to tack on a fee, can they do that? Like add a fee to
Correct.
what
So
peers do?
we just launched kind of a new. If you click the advanced tab, Denny, that would be super nice. You just see the little tab. Oh, yes, nice. So we just launched automated rate management, which is essentially where we can track the spreads for you. So if you want to sell euros at 1% above the market rate, we use oracles to make sure that you always stay 1%. So when you're selling, you always make 1%. And we just launched a bunch of new contracts with this feature. We upgraded our escrow contract to include the ability to have multiple referral fees. So in this case, you could charge a fee for this. Yes.
Okay, so sorry, now I'm getting stupid again. Sorry,
No,
Ben, be patient with me.
no problem.
So if peer is person to person,
Mhm.
then how is those two people, they are each deciding on the price to exchange with each other. How would I get in the middle and add a spread to then take a fee? Is it
So if you go to the buy tab, and if you just type in $100, just 100, thank you, sir. So in this case, you see like the best quote is one. There's a PayPal at 1-to-1, but the best quote for Venmo is you get 98.52 USDC. So the spread in this case, the $1.50 difference goes to the person who deposited their crypto, right? He's selling with a 1.5% spread. So what you would do on the front end is add an extra, I don't know, let's say 0.5% or 1% for math's sake. And then the quote in the you receive section would just be 1% less than that. So in theory, the seller would get his 1.5%, and then you would add a number on top of that.
so? Can you go back, Danny, please, to that quote page? So if I add, let's keep the number simple. I want to
Mhm.
tack on 0.5% as my fee. So
Uh-huh.
instead of 98.52, we would see 98.02.
Something similar, yes, correct.
Okay. Okay.
And when you're logged in, Danny, I won't make you log in and get there. You do get a small breakdown as well of if you're bridging, it will tell you the specific exchange rates and if there are any specific fees for bridging, for example, and slippage and things like this. There is a little section that comes up and you can see that.
So the person on Venmo, your ADD Danny. All right, there you go. The 98.52. That's the user arbitrarily came up with that number himself. That he built in his own 1.5%.
Correct. Yeah. So if you go to the liquidity tab, Danny, this is quite nice, and you scroll down slightly. Perfect. Yes. You can see here, like essentially it's like, okay, I need some money in my Venmo account, but how fast do I need it? Do I need it very fast? Okay, then maybe I'm going to go at 1-to-1 because people are then thinking, oh, hey, I can get onto crypto 1-to-1. But if you look, there is $32,983 at 1.012. So there's kind of like the middle section. I just chose the middle one.
Where is
Probably
that?
could have chosen.
Oh, right there. Okay. Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Danny.
For the old man.
Yeah.
So that means this person he's deposited 32,000 USDC into our account. He said, hey, I don't really need the money quick. I want it in Zelle, so he wants it straight to his bank account. And he's charged a 1.2% spread, or he's charging a 1.2% spread. So if Denny says, hey, I don't mind paying 1.2% because one, I can use Zelle. Two, I can get on chain in a privacy preserving manner and I don't have to KYC. He would come here and then like pay that spread, if that makes sense.
I wonder for arbitrageurs that they're anonymous, by the way, on THORChain. I wonder if they'd be interested in doing this as well.
I can tell you that I do a lot of, I wouldn't say arbitrage, but there are options, especially for euros, that people do misprice them, and also based on chain, you can kind of on-ramp from euros to USDC and then swap USDC to euros on chain and then withdraw the money back and kind of earn well, if that makes sense. So there are options. If you if you spend enough time on our website and you have our Telegram bot set up for kind of sniper alerts, which we say, which is where people want money fast, they will put it slightly under the market rate. You get pinged on Telegram directly, and then you can buy directly as well.
So like any market then, as your volume increases, people, employing those kind of strategies, we'll see the spreads tighten.
So the
Over
spreads have
time.
tightened a lot. At the start of last year, when I started using this platform, V2 was launched in February 25. I was selling euros for like 5%. So that means like it was fantastic. Last year I made a lot of money through here.
Well, at
And
least
now,
somebody did. Good for you.
thank you. I wrote about it as well on Twitter. You can read all about it. It's great articles. It helped pay for a lot of my my honeymoon last year. And now the spreads are like 1-2%, right? So the spreads are already compressed. People are becoming more competitive. You'll see a lot of people posting at 1-to-1 now because they don't care about making money. They just want the fiat, right? And if you have US dollars and or USDC and you want to receive US dollars, you don't care if it's 1-to-1. Yeah. And in terms of the chart you're looking at, Denny, that's liquidity. So you can see it's pretty steady, just above like 100K. It's a snapshot every day of like the liquidity. So we have high turnover of liquidity, which means I think some days in January, like $1 of liquidity was doing like $1.40 of volume. And that's people looping, which means as I off-ramp USDC to euros in my Revolut account, I send those euros back on chain. I swap them into USDC and I reddeposit into my into peer, and I continuously compound that spread, if that makes sense. And that's something that can make you also a lot of money. Yeah.
Interesting. Very cool, man. I really like this. This is interesting. Yeah. Do you guys want to see anything else? I'm trying to be the best here. Try not to have ADD.
Yeah.
As says.
Is there anything else we should see here, Ben? You want to highlight?
You could go to Peerlytics. Let me just type the link in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me. I'll come back. Perfect.
We have our own. We have our own kind of Explorer analytics site called Peerlytics, where you can see like more things in detail, look into spreads more, see the liquidity turnover. If you've used June before, or June, I would skip the tour unless you want to read.
No, it's okay.
You can just see kind of more of our stats. You can see the fill time. The median fill time is 2 minutes and things like this. So it's more about just some more information on Peer as a whole. You can also look at specific profiles. So if you're a liquidity provider, you can see kind of more things about them. It has some more information, I guess, in general.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, man. This is pretty comprehensive here. Very good, guys. And we'll be sure on if you're watching this on a recording, a live stream, we're gonna have all these links down below, you guys, so you can check this out for yourself. Pretty cool what you built here, man. Really awesome. Congratulations getting on the 5% spread. That's pretty baller, I gotta say, Ben.
It was better times. There was no war. I could charge 5% on selling USDC to euros.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go anywhere on here specifically? We're on the analytics section. Do you want me to click around?
No, it's okay. Just in case anyone's interested, they can.
Okay, cool.
Look, I think it's okay. Yeah.
Well, I like it, man. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. As I said, I don't want to repeat material here, but the fiat on ramp, off ramp, that's always been a headache. That's always been the linchpin, the choke point. That's something we need to fix. And I really like what you guys are doing. It's pretty cool. And you seem like a really cool guy, and your team seems pretty awesome as well. Yeah. You're doing a good job, Ben.
That's why they send me out for these conversations.
Hey, yeah, sometimes you usually don't want to talk to a lot of developers. They don't have the communication skills, you know what I mean? So we gotta, they gotta send someone like yourself or anyone else to convey these ideas to the audience, because a lot the communication, as I said, is sometimes lacking. Let's see. I think we had a question here. Noob question. I don't even know what I'm just going to put up here. What's the benefit versus an exchange like the one based in my European country for on-ramping?
I guess the no additional verification, no surveillance tracking of your wallet address. So I think it's maybe slightly abstract, but companies never sell your data to like chain analysis or other companies. They would never sell that data. But what it does show them is that you receive money from Coinbase 50 or Coinbase 5, and then they can track kind of the heuristics of that user, or chain analysis can track the heuristics of that user and package it up and then kind of profile against it. So it's not specific data tracking in that way, but there are lots of ways that they can pinpoint like who you are because you withdrew that money at a certain time, and things like this. And depending on the wallets it come from, there are this sort of surveillance layer that happens kind of on chain as well that people seem to forget about if they use a centralized exchange. Not to sound like I don't know. In Dutch, they would say a wappie. I can't think of I speak too much Dutch in the day-to-day, so now I can't think of the English word. Like a crazy person, like someone who's paranoid. Not to sound like someone who's paranoid.
A crackpot.
Thank you.
Crackpot. That's what you got to say, right? There you go.
Not to sound like someone like that, but these firms are very like rich firms who package data based on, sex withdrawals, based on all these different things. And again, it's not sold. It's also anonymized by these companies as well if they do sell it. So it's not specifically tagged to Kenton or Ben or Denny, but there's still kind of, it's still kind of, for me, something that's unpleasant, I would say. So there is like a lot of surveillance on there. Yeah.
That's
you got
what,
some friends.
I see.
In the US anyway, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's the same in Europe, but like the pay for order flow. So like a lot of brokerages like Robinhood and whatnot, like they offer free trades and
Correct.
and no commissions on trades. And they're like, oh, this is a great deal, right? But the reason they're doing that is because they're selling your trade data to firms like Citadel that they'll go and front run you.
Correct.
And so it's worth it for these big firms to pay for your information so they can trade against you. And you know who invented that model? Bernie Madoff. So interestingly enough, but yeah, it's all one big giant selling data machine, and to use it against against you. So
It doesn't also need to be used against you. It can also just be used to profile you as well. So then you'll see like, targeted advertisements, or you'll see different things like this. So it's not, it doesn't have to be malicious. It can be more also kind of creepier as well. I guess maybe that could be seen as malicious, but it is also like just a creepy thing as well, that that someone is tracking all of your transactions that you do on chain for the rest of time because it's linked to Coinbase.
Absolutely, 100%. Totally, you're right. That's thanks adding that too. Well, and it's like, and when you want to get more crackpotty about it, and what was the word? Wappie? What's the Dutch word?
WAPPIE. So
if we want to get more wappy about it, like then it's like programming, because okay, they're profiling you. Okay, we got a profile on you. What we think you'd like to buy. Now we can start putting certain information in front of you to affect how you think. And that's
all right. Now you're getting too crazy, Kenton. We should steer away from.
Dude, you brought it up. But this is, dude, I guarantee everyone on this call thinks like this. If you're into freedom and privacy, like you're going down these rabbit holes. So, what does he say here?
Yeah. Says, Citadel, these black box high frequency scam. It's high frequency trading against you. It's creepy government surveillance. It's advertising. 4 different levels of bad. Yeah. I think, I don't think there is no conspiracy theory that really, I think conspiracy theory now is like a compliment. You know what I mean?
Conspiracy facts.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in, you know what I mean? So you're a
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist? Like, hell yeah, I am, handshake, brother, you know what I mean? It's one of them deals. Yeah, Ben, I'm an elected official. I've been through various fundraisers, like various politicians, talked to it is creepy. And it's even creepier when you talk to these people in real life. I mean, the meme is these are lizard people, and yeah. Yes, they are. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. It's a perfect example. It's reptilian, cold-blooded, inhuman, soulless, calculating, sociopathic, spreadsheet, no humanity, whatever you want to say. So, we joke around, but this is really important, what you're doing, and
Yeah.
I applaud you guys.
I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and we're talking about. Actually, I want to ask you this, Ben, in a sec. I'll ask you about. I don't know if you've heard of CARF and FATF and the OECD and all these, like non like these organizations that are kind of like rolling out these proposed regulations that all these countries are adopting. I'll ask you about your opinion on that in a second, but um, you know, we're we're talking about it, and he's saying all these AML laws, all this stuff. It's just they don't work. It doesn't stop anything. It just makes life more difficult for everybody. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, they absolutely work. They work amazingly well. But their goal isn't to stop like money transmission. The goal is control. They want to control the money. They want to control everybody. It's working beautifully. So it's the same thing with like people complain about the government. Oh, governments waste so much money. They're so inefficient, and this and that, blah, blah. They don't know what they're doing. Like they know exactly what they're doing. It works perfectly. Their goal is not to spend money to benefit us. The goal is to steal money from us. And it's working beautifully. They got this amazing machine where they get so much money. It's
Yes.
working perfectly. So, anyway, privacy and stuff like what you're doing is how we fight back, right? How we stop that, how we put our foot down, so it's great.
I think on that, just because you talk about regulation, like I'm a European, a European at heart, and there's a lot of people who discuss like GDPR and things like this. And I think one of the most overlooked parts of that, or regardless of your thoughts on it, is that they are a huge proponent of these large companies having data minimization on you. So that means like they only should capture the information that is necessary, and they should only keep it for as long as necessary, right? So they say, because personal data is so important and so, people get killed over it. People
Yes.
can find out so much stuff about you. They can find out where you live because of this, because of the high level of like risk there is in collecting it, that you should try and collect as little of it as possible, right?
Yes.
And people, compliance officers take this data minimization and they say, hey, like we need to collect all the information that's as possible so we can market to them or we can do all these different things to them. But they forget that perfect section. They overlook that section which says, hey, actually, we don't need to collect the information on this person, because if we leak it, like Ledger or Coinbase or, SumSub, all these firms, when they leak it, you get fined, you get fucked, like you ruin people's lives. Like everyone forgets that part of the actual regulation, which is, I mean, maybe it oversteps the boundaries in some ways, but they still try and protect people identity. Like that is something that for regulation, sorry guys, some things can be useful, right? Maybe it's not used in a useful way, but that is, something that people forget and actually can be, something positive. Not that it's used positively currently, but there is some positives to this kind of data minimization, at least sometimes, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
data minimization is definitely better than nothing. But like
Sure.
I was at CVS, a pharmacy in the US the other day, bought a roll of paper towel, and they asked for my phone number, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to give it to you, no. And she like the cashier like was like visibly, her body language is like, she's like, all right, fine, and I'm like, you like giving me shit for not wanting to give you my phone
Yeah.
number for the roll of paper towel, like. She's like looking at me like I'm the weirdo. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like society's just gone friggin', they're way too, what's the word?
Cattle,
conditioned,
sheep. Yeah.
conditioned to that this is okay, right? To just give up your personal information when someone asks for it. Like
I
it's
will.
really
I will release. I wrote an article a little while ago. Maybe I should say now about it's a panopticon. I don't know if you guys have heard of this kind of uh, idea. It's like a jail where the guards are in the middle of a tower. It's a big circle. The guards are in the middle of the tower, and they can see everything. And the people in the jail don't know when they're being watched. And the idea is that the prisoners kind of don't do anything bad because they think they could be watched at all times. And that's kind of how like our financial and data lives are at the minute. It's like we could be watched at any time. So we, give our phone number to the CVS lady, or we do all these things that are kind of the norm, but actually we should be doing
That
the
concept,
opposite.
that concept's actually very powerful. They've done some experiments back in wartime where you'd have prisoners in 3 different rooms, and you would tell all prisoners, they'd be starving, by the way. You'd have a nice, warm, hearty bowl of soup in the middle, right? And you say, if we catch you eating this bowl of soup, we will beat you. There's 3 rooms. We're only going to be watching one of them. And if
Right.
we're watching your room and you eat the soup, we're going to come in and we're going to beat the hell out of you. And all 3 of them refuse to eat the soup, even knowing that there's just a 33% chance they're being monitored. It's that constant. It's very powerful psychological manipulation for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
It's something
that's
we
even more powerful because then you literally can be watched all the time. Yes, 33% were already willing to bend the knee.
Yeah, and it's something else that we try and also like the concept of positive deviance, which is like doing like a deviance you usually hear is like a bad thing, but actually like people who use peer are positive deviants because they're doing something that's out of the norm, which is peer-to-peer trading to go from fiat to crypto. It came from like an idea. Maybe it's too sociological or psychological for you guys. But back in Vietnam in the 80s, there was a famine, and a guy came and they said like, hey, you need to do all these studies, you need to get all this money. And he said, hey, actually there's some people in these villages where the kids are fine and the kids aren't malnourished and dying. And he said, what are those mothers doing? And instead of spending all this like government money, he asked these mothers what they were doing, and it turns out they were being positive deviants, which was feeding them like fish and chicken, which children didn't usually receive at that time in those villages. And then instead of spending lots of government money, he just said, hey, these mothers, you run a workshop on what you're feeding your children to all the other mothers. And then the malnourishment rate dropped, or I guess dropped. The nourishment rate rose significantly in this case because everyone started doing that. And what you see is Coinbase, MoonPay, they came in and everyone started using them because it was the only way from going from fiat to crypto and from crypto to fiat. It's like the only way. But hey, actually it's not the only way. And there are ways you can deviate from those paths and use peer or local Bitcoins, previously local Ethereum, things like this, to, be a positive deviant and say, hey, we're not the weirdos.
No, you're the solution.
Or not wanting to give away our information. We're actually what we should be doing. So that's kind of how I'm, as Harry says in the chat, philosophy coded, how I see our users are these positive deviants who are saying, hey, actually, we shouldn't give up our privacy or our KYC. We've already given it up. I don't want to give it up again just to lose money longing Ethereum or buying a shitcoin and things like this. Yeah.
A couple things here. I agree with all that, of course. It's one of the things that they say in order to surrender your freedom, that's the government's main weapon. They use the faux morality of consumer protectionism. Like we're trying to protect you from yourself or from risk, right? But that's how they actually end up controlling you. So a lot of people don't understand that. Your positive deviance, I really like that phrase because that reminds me, and everyone hates talking about COVID, but all draconian, all over the world, people like shutting things down like that. It was actually the ordinary people figuring it out, like the decentralized aspect, coming up with novel solutions like restaurants. Hey, let's just put things outside. And obviously that was a stupid time. Guys, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying deviance as in decentralization, like all these individual decisions being made in society, they are the best correction mechanism rather than an over domineering government trying to centralize and control. Like you said, figure out why there's malnutrition. This is, well, let's just figure out what's working by the decentralized population, and then you've already got a solution, right? So you guys are, yeah, and you are a perfect example of that. You are proposing a solution to a very, well, I don't know how well known this problem is, but hopefully people figure it out because this is quite serious.
Ben, are you familiar with CARF, the crypto asset reporting framework?
American?
No, it's from the OECD, which is like this, unaccountable regulatory body. And they just came up with these regulations. And apparently like 130 countries are going to adopt it over like this year and next, or within the next 3 years type thing.
Yeah, I Googled it. I'm sorry.
I know about it because it's so like Cayman Islands says they're going to do it, but but they haven't said what. They just said they're going to do it, but they haven't actually said exactly what they're doing. And it's got, because Cayman is becoming one of the bigger main jurisdictions for crypto foundations, right? And there's a real push, real draw to try and attract these foundation companies. And so I'm friends with like directors and auditors and all the lawyers, all these people, and everyone's, so the kind of the rumblings when I go to meetups and stuff is like, how is everyone going to deal with CARF? And as for people listening, it's basically trying to implement KYC on DeFi. And
it looks like they also want to stop. I see that the big thing is to stop tax evasion.
Exactly. That's how they're going to sell it, right? And so, from my understanding, this is coming. Especially if it's coming in Cayman, I'm for sure it's going to come in Europe. Well, I think it's probably based out of Europe. Is probably where the genesis came from. But I'm curious. One, is this on your radar? And if not, it's fine. But if it is, like, how do you? Maybe we can talk just more in generalities. How do you view looking forward, the regulatory world? Do you think the pendulum right now, things are good for now? What if things start getting bad again? How do you see peers surviving that? Are you worried about anything that could happen? You just take it as you come. Yeah, maybe that's all too big of a, yeah.
No, it's okay. From a CARF perspective, I just quickly whilst you were talking, Kenton. I wasn't listening. I was multitasking. I'm very.
Yeah. We're good.
I think I haven't heard anything about it here. I don't know. I saw there's some things on CASPs as well, which I know are European-based stuff. From a peer perspective, and I don't really want to speak for the company, but at least from my perspective, I wouldn't expect much to change. Regulatory wise, crypto is more, I guess, okay, if that makes sense. It's more accepted right now. I don't expect it to change very much with new governments or the future in terms of how accepted it is. Maybe the rules will change about reporting, but I think it's here. It's kind of here to stay, I guess, finally. You see a lot of banks using it, a lot of interest around stable coins. I think you can't escape regulation, unfortunately, for crypto. But what I do see is that there will always be opportunities to leverage regulations like we do, not just in terms of us, but if CARF comes around in DeFi and you have to report transactions or things like this, there will always be ways like Aztec where you can do things with private programmable privacy, for example, like Aztec chain. So it's not just it's not just regulations will come, regulations will change. Regulations are unfortunately forever. Bureaucracy is forever. But the place you need to be is on the periphery of those regulations where you say, hey, regulations are always very black and white, or they try to be black and white, but there's always that gray area, right? And if you're in that gray area, you can always outrun the next regulation. And it's just about being able to one, continuously outrun the regulation, but then hope as you outrun a regulation, maybe you become so popular that those regulations change, right? In like an ideal utopian worldview, maybe I'm too naive, but if you outrun those regulations and you do like enough volume, or you do like you make enough noise, people will start to see you. Like if you look at Hyperliquid do billions of dollars of volume. They have this kind of new like foundation place. I don't know if you guys seen that. Like they have a lawyer who's going to start going to governments to talk about I'm really explaining this poorly, but they're doing a lot of work in terms of making sure, hey, you can be a purpose exchange in the US without KYC and things like this. So they're doing a lot of those things to try and change the regulations because one, they've made so much money, their product is so popular, and people are diehard fans of them, right? So if they can do it, and maybe touch wood, change a regulation, then anyone can do it, right? And that's something that we should aspire in the space as a whole. From my point of view, we should aspire to say, hey, regulations will always come. People will always try and stop a normal person from making money. Let's see what we can do to be in the gray area of those regulations and then improve those regulations in the future so more people can access.
Yes,
No,
I agree with that. And go ahead, Kenton.
no, you go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was going to say that's how we defend ourselves, right? Like if there's a time to grow, it's now. We have to grow. We have to get adoption, and I hope Peer does. And I hope people watch this and they see how awesome you are, because the more utility we bring, not only to the average consumer but to businesses, institutions, we basically remove the friction points and we make it a seamless process, and we become pretty much we become infrastructure it's incalculably important, right? Has so much utility, so good that then the plurality of society, not just consumers, but the institutions themselves, value our technology to the point where they actually defend us if overbearing regulation comes back, right? Which I guarantee you it will. It absolutely is.
Always does.
So this is the time to grow. This is the time to spread our spiderweb everywhere we possibly can. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
I agree. I think you're right, Ben. There's always going to be some other way we can work in that gray area. And I also think too, it's like, it's like squeezing a ball or ball of Play-Doh or whatever. The tighter you squeeze, the more that slips through your fingers, right? So if they really do try to clamp down really hard, actually more will get out or will want to get out, right? And um, so yeah, I don't think it's dire. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back type thing. We'll just have to, deal with these things as they come.
I can tell you, like we like our pay product is like a Stripe checkout kind of flow. The same idea for merchants, still using our technology, and we see a lot of want from like marijuana, peptides, like all of these places where marijuana is legal in America, right? Or at least in some states, it's legal in America.
Most states, yeah, legal in Canada.
Banks don't want to have anything to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So instead of being debanked, we've seen some of them come to us and slowly start integrating us into these kind of unbankable sections that are legal in the eyes of the law. You can buy and sell marijuana in California, for example, but you can't use a Visa to buy it, right? You can't use your debit card or your credit card to buy it. So you come to us and you use Cash App or Venmo, and the merchant receives their crypto, their stable coin. The person receives their peptides or marijuana or whatever else, in these kind of businesses that are legal in the eyes of the law, but no one wants to touch them with a pole. Like they can come to us and, we can facilitate these things in a peer-to-peer manner. And that makes it unstoppable, right? Because it's legal. People are going to sell it because they can make money through it. So we just want to help facilitate those areas, and hopefully that also helps us kind of grow and become larger than we already are. Yeah.
Well, Ben, is there anything else do you want to talk about that we haven't? Do you want to bring up? This is for you, man, and Pierre.
That is true.
Yeah.
No, if you're listening, which I hope some people are, or watching,
They are.
which I also hope some people are, I would really give it a go. Try and check out Peer.xyz. Just use it. You'll see how different it is to different on-ramps, different off-ramps. Read the documents on off-ramping and on-ramping. Honestly, just because then I won't have to answer your question in customer support, which will make me happy. So please do that. And again, you can find me on like Telegram or Twitter at UnhappyBen, which maybe is slightly different to my current personality. You can find me there, and then you're always welcome to DM me and talk about Peer. I get a lot of people asking questions about it. Correct. Thank you, Kenton. I get a lot of questions about it. So if you have any questions, if you have any follow-ups, you can hit me up there, or you can join our Discord from the website. You can ask questions there, although I'll probably be a bit slow answering those questions. But yeah, just try it, see how it is. If you have a question, I will do my best to answer it and to spread the good word, as they say. Yeah, but I would really recommend it. And again, finally, if you have, I saw someone talking about 50K earlier in the chat. If you have large amounts of crypto and you would like fiat, we can help you find people with coincidence of wants. We are happy to help support OTC trades. You can off-ramp in a safe, secure manner. Again, hit me up if you need any more information. We can help you in that way. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's everything. I hope that's everything.
No, this has been a really good. Yeah, it's been great.
If it isn't, in a few months, you want to come back, 6 months.
Yes.
I'd love to.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, especially, it's always, you guys are, relatively new, right? So even be cool, really cool to have this conversation a year from now and see what kind of volumes you're doing and how things have gone. And yeah, so let's definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty smart. Pretty conversation. Real quick, Kenton, you think anything else before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, you know what? I keep forgetting Vegas, Bitcoin Las Vegas, guys. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. If you want to come to our meetup, please RSVP. I got to get the link for that.
Ben, are you going to BTC Las Vegas convention by chance?
Let me tell you, I'm not going anywhere because I just had my baby's 3 weeks old. So
yes, that's right.
3 weeks.
Yes.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks today.
Oh, congratulations.
You gotta love it.
I'm staying at home looking after wife and baby. She joined her first meeting 18 days ago. Yeah. So it's fun.
As you should, man. I love it. Fantastic. Thank you for bringing the next generation of crypto users into this world. We need more Bens out there making
Let me tell you,
kids.
I hope my daughter doesn't use crypto. God, how embarrassing.
Oh, dude. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, congratulations to you, man. It's really been really good. And Kenton, did you have that link by chance?
I did. I posted it in the chat.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you guys are going to be in Bitcoin Las Vegas, please come hang out. It'd be great to meet you. It'll be casual. Depending on how many people we get, just be some drinks and nappies. And then we're trying to decide Monday or Sunday night, whatever works better for most people.
I think Monday. I think we
Monday?
haven't done a poll
Okay.
yet. I think that's the day. I think that's the day people.
Monday? Okay. When is the actual
Monday.
conference?
It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
But Monday is the day where you need the really expensive tickets to attend.
Well, that's the Pro Pass or whatever.
Whatever it's called. Yeah.
A
A lot of people will not be attending the conference that day. They'll be getting into Las Vegas, flying.
I got my days backwards then, because I figured most people would be coming Sunday. So okay, we can do Monday then. I'll just change it. We'll just do Monday.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Well, I'm getting there Sunday. I get.
You'll be eating.
But I don't have the Pro Pass. Pardon?
Okay.
I said you'll be having drinks and appetizers alone then, Kenton.
No.
I'm going with Denny to the desert, right? We'll do this Monday, right, Denny?
We could do it Sunday.
Are
if
you
you're
Sunday?
Sunday, I don't care. We're going to go blow up a propane tank with a shotgun, Ben. I don't know how that makes you feel, but this is the American part of me.
That's very American coded.
You understand? It's very powerful stuff. I'm going to bring my Canadian brother over to the American side so he can experience freedom for the first time in his life. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
I've only shot like a handful of guns in my life a few times. It's fun, man. It is. I get it. Like I get it.
Ridiculously fun.
Like it is fun.
It's great.
It's cool. So
my sweet European hands have never touched a firearm.
Oh, you got it, Ben. Oh man,
I got you. I got you. Yeah. This is what I was born to do. This is my birthright. I take my cousins from Europe, I bring them over, and I hold them close, and I say, I just want you to touch it. Just touch it.
Put
your finger on it.
Don't put your mouth
squeeze that trigger.
I was in Austin a few months ago and met up with a buddy. He's a big gun guy. So we went to the range, and I'm like, I want to get a Desert Eagle. And so,
those are cool.
Dude, it's like a cannon. It's like the most unpractical thing in the world. Like, I was actually scared at first. So, like, the recoil.
Yes.
I mean, it's
break your nose.
Pardon?
You didn't break your nose.
No, I'm out far. I'm like bracing my legs.
That's right.
Like, I wanted to do one-hander just to see what it'd be like, but no, I'll end up hurting myself.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to do, It's
basically a hand cannon. 50 cal hand cannon. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And you don't want to limp wrist it. We call it limp wristing,
Yeah, totally.
Soda, what are you talking about? I still owe me one.
It was nice because
remind me. Go ahead.
The gun advocates they're fantastic people. Like all the other people at the range saw me how giddy I was with this Desert Eagle, and they're all smiling and we're chatting with each other about it. Yeah, it was cool.
It's camaraderie and it's the thing is because this is what they do. I'm keeping you on the show. Okay, just a little bit longer. Explain this. They want guns to be evil. They're not. They're the ultimate sources of liberty, self-defense. Women in my country, the biggest use case for self-defense is the firearms. They save them life. Really bad people. Dude, when you fire it, man, it's just first off, it's cool, right? Because it's physics, right? So you're literally an explosion in your hand. That's what it is. It's an explosion that's being directed in a particular direction. It's super nerdy, super cool. And then when you of course, and hitting things is actually, it takes practice, right? Like a lot of people think they TV like pew 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 pew. Like no, you guys. It requires a lot of skill. How you squeeze the triggers matters. Your form, your stance, everything, right?
We can have a poly market on how many shots it will take Kenton to hit the propane tank with.
Yeah.
Under over 3 or something.
So the other cool thing was if you just shoot like a 9mm or a revolver, you realize how inaccurate they are.
Yes.
And so when you see on the movies and people shooting those, so it actually gives me a bit of confidence that if someone ever pulled a handgun on me, as long as I'm at least 15 feet away and I start zigzagging running, he's not hitting me. There's no way I can zigzag run away from him. And
yeah, like the cowboy movies where they show the cowboys full gallop on the horse, shooting their revolvers. Dude, they're probably gonna blow their own horse's brains out and just fucking die right there, dude. There's just no way. There's no way you're hitting anything with a revolver at full gallop. It is ridiculous. Yeah, it's true, Kenton, right? To get accurate with a 9mm, that barrel length is so short. So any slight deviation in your hand, that bullet's going all over the place. So
yeah, it's hard. Anyway, well, Ben's European sensitivities. We won't talk about guns anymore.
Thank you. So, I apprate that. Let's talk about
bring it in, Ben. Bring it in.
Regulation and tax, if possible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you to be on a list, buddy. I'm so sorry about that. But if you ever come to America, Ben, I'm serious about this. Okay, I live real close to Vegas. I will show you. I will show you. Okay.
Be hitting propane tanks, Denny. Thank you.
Whatever you want to hit, except people. And okay. All right, guys, we're going to cover there. So just a reminder, you guys, if you want to become a node operator on THORChain, you need some help, please reach out to @RuneTard on X. He can help you get set up and find bonfires. I'll help you too, right? And these live streams are typically long, guys. We love them. They're so much fun. But you guys should follow @RayAnalytics on X. He does written recaps for all of these live streams. So if you need a TLDR, definitely check him out. And this has been a really great live stream, you guys. I'm sure, people will love just getting the meat and potatoes. Peer is an awesome, awesome protocol. I love what you guys are doing. I'm really excited to see where you go. And I totally agree with Kenton. Let's get you back on the show from some time now and see how it goes. But lastly, guys, always remember the views expressed are solely of those of the host and guests. Any action taken based on this information is at your own risk. Past performance is not indicative of future results. For next week, guys, next Saturday, we're going to have Matthew Carano, editor of Brave New World, Liberty and Technology. He's going to be on this Saturday. Really excited to look for him. And then on our typical Thursday, Chad and Alex from My Protocol cannot be there. So we're going to actually do a Ruggiero one. We're going to have Pragmatic Monkey join us. He's already agreed to do it. So look out for that. And with that being said, you guys, that's going to wrap up the show. Kenton, Ben, it's been so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
No, nice meeting you, Ben. It's been great.
All right, everyone. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Ciao.